Hi guys, we start with the chapter called Graphical Representation, a very simple chapter. If you talk about the weightage of the chapter, it is going to be like one question, 4 marks approximately. Yeah, so graphical representation, one question expected, approximately 4 marks. That's the board weightage. Okay, in this chapter, what do we exactly study? We're going to study about 3 things, 3 factors, 3 concepts. One of them is a histogram. Second is a frequency polygon. And the third one is an ogive. Right? So these are the 3 representations in terms of statistical analysis, in terms of graph. Because whenever we are studying some graph, some statistics, the diagrams, the diagrammatic representation, it's easy to understand. We are, as humans, very much susceptible, very much friendly with the graphs, with the diagrams, with the pictures. It's like what we see, our brain captures, the motor nerve captures very smoothly, very efficiently. Hence, many of the analysis which are quite boring, which might be quite monotonous, okay, even in industries, in the businesses, are represented through pie charts, bar diagrams, histograms, to make it look more attractive, to give a pictorial representation so that the analysis becomes very easy. That is what this chapter is intending to do. So the first thing, the first part, the first concept of the chapter is the histogram. Let's start straight away. Right. Draw the histogram for the following table. The table given to me is starting from 0. Now, whenever you solve the graphical questions, we need to ask ourselves 2 questions. First, is the class interval? The class interval always comes, appears, is drawn on the x-axis. Right? It is always the x-axis. So this is the class interval. And on the y-axis, we get the frequency. Fine. Now the 2 questions which we ask ourselves is, first, is the class interval starting from 0? And if it is yes, then there is no issue at all. It is a gap, the size, the width of the class is 10 units. And it's starting from 0, so no issues. Let's say scale is very important. On the x-axis, I can take 2 centimeter as 10 units. And on the y-axis, also 2 centimeter, I can take 2 centimeter, I can take as 4 units. Find 2 as 4. So this is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. On the y-axis, it's going to be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 and 24. Alright, if I start plotting, my first plot, right, my first plot is going to be from 0 to 10, my answer is 12. 0 to 10, my answer is 12. So the first bar this way. You should write 12. The next is 20. The next is 26. Okay, since there is 26, we'll have to go with one more building with 28. Because the gap is of 4 units. Between 24 to 28 is going to be 26, somewhere out here. The next one is 18, 10 and 6. 18 is between 16 and 20. 10 is between 8 and 12. And 6 is between 4 and 8. Right. So these are my buildings. This is my histogram. Right. And you can do one thing. You can shade this in one simple manner. Space it out parallel lines. Don't make the lines too close and waste your time. So that is my histogram. Scale, y-axis, x-axis, CIF, right? Simple one. So this was my first question for you all. Draw the histogram. The two concerns were, concern number one, that whether the graph starts from 0, that was not a problem. Second concern, that is this class a continuous class? Continuous means in the sense it stops at 0 and the next class starts from 0. No, it stops at 10. The next class starts from 10. Stops at 20. The next class starts from 20. So the second concern was whether the class is continuous or discontinuous. Fine. And you should always check the highest value and determine, check out, select the units accordingly. Second question. In the second question, again draw the histogram, but this time the histogram is not starting from the origin. So we make a concept called a heartbeat, a kink sort of thing. Many books have given this way or something. I prefer always this way, the third one. This is called a kink. When to use a kink? When the class interval doesn't start from 0, doesn't start with 0. That is the time where we put a kink. Here the class interval started from 0 to 10, no problem. The next class is started from 10 to 16, then 16 to 22, and that's how it goes on. So guys, let's begin. X-axis, y-axis, we have class interval, we have frequency. Alright, we have from 10. So I can say in the board exam, you will get a graph paper of 2 centimeter as 1 unit, the 2 centimeter graph paper. In one of the centimeters, you put a kink and the other centimeter leave it alone. Out of 2 centimeters, that are 2 small boxes, one small box put a kink, other small box leave it alone. This is going to be 10, 16, 22. It's a gap of 6, 28. It goes on till 40, 34, 40. Fine. So I can say on the x-axis scale is 2 centimeter as 4 units. On the y-axis, maximum it is going up till 30. You can take 2 centimeter as 4 units again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 and 32. Frequency on the y-axis. The first plot is 15, second is 23. So from 10 to 16 it is 15. Between 12 and 16, we have 14. And between 14, between 12 and 16 we have 14. And between 14 and 16 we have 15. Right, somewhere out here. That's 15 for you. The next is 23. Between 20 to 24 we have 22. That's one box midway. And between 22 to 24 we have 23. The next one is 30 then 20. 30 is between 28 and 32. The next is 20 and the last is 16. 20 is direct. 16 is direct. and just all right. So this is my answer to the second question. The only difference is out here where the start is not from 0. The class is continuous, no issues. So the first speciality of my first sum is class interval starts from 0. I'm writing short. And second, it is a continuous class. The second one is class interval does not start from 0, but can I say the class is a continuous class? Continuous means it starts at 10, ends at 16. Next class starts from 16, ends at 22. So that continuation is sustained. Third question from my side. The class is a discontinuous class, right? How to do it? We're going to do it in a while. Just go through these two sums. The problem with the third is that the class interval is not a continuous one. So we'll have to first make it a continuous class interval. The class interval is given to me is 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, and I guess 70 to 79. Now the problem is it is ending at 39 starting at 40. The upper limit of the previous class starting from 49 and the new class lower limit starting from 50. So this we call it as a discontinuous class. So neither is it starting from 0 nor the class is a continuous class. So first step, we make it as a continuous class. CI. Now in order to do that, what we do is you take the upper limit of the prior class and the lower limit of the next class. Upper limit of the former class, lower limit of the latter class. Take the average. So I can say the average of 39 and 40 is 39.5. Is 39.5. I'm going to take the mean, the average of the two, which is 39 plus 40 divided by 2. It's 39.5, the midpoint. So what we do is, this is called the adjustment factor. 0.5 is the adjustment factor. From all the lower limits, I'm going to subtract 0.5, and all the upper limits, I'm going to add a 0.5. That's how I make my class continuous. So ideally this will start from 29.5 to 39.5. From the lower limit, subtract 0.5, the adjustment factor, and from the upper limit, add 0.5. Again, lower limit, subtract 0.5, upper limit, add 0.5. Lower limit, subtract 0.5, upper limit, add 0.5. And now I have made my class continuous one. So I did this crap in order to get a continuous class interval. That was my aim. The frequencies are 24, 16, 9, 15, 20. 24, 16, 9, 15, 20. Now that's simple. Highest is 24. So again, 4 units as 1 centimeter. So if I draw this now, on the X we have a continuous class interval. Again, one of the box there is going to be a kink, the other box will be empty. Because the class is starting from 29.5, not 0, 29.5, 39.5, 49, 59, 69, 79.5. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Y-axis class interval. Continuous class interval on the y-axis. Okay. Again, when you start plotting, the first plot is 24, direct. The second plot is 16, direct, present. Third plot is 9. 9, actually 10 is between 8 and 12, and between 8 and 10 is your 9. 15. Between 16 and 20, we have 17. Oh, I'm sorry. Between 12 and 16, we have 14. Thoda slightly greater than that will give you 15. And 20, we have a direct point. Okay, you just shade it. That's it. So that's for you. The speciality was, first, neither the class started with 0, neither 0 nor continuous class. So we had to first make 0. For that we made a kink, and we had to draw the entire diagram to make the class continuous by adding and subtracting 0.5 respectively. So this was my third question for you all. Fourth question is, they have given the class marks. Go through this and we shall encounter the fourth one. In the fourth question, they have given me the midpoint. They have not given even the class interval. Midpoint is said to be the class marks. So I can start with drawing a table because I need to sort the things out. Class marks are given, that means the midpoint of the class is given. 16, 24 and so on. I guess still 64, yes. Now actually students, this is the midpoint of the class, the center value. I can't work with this. I have to find the closed continuous class interval. Now how do we do that? To find the continuous class interval, you take the average of this. The average of this. Let's start. For the first class, 16 plus 24 upon 2. 40 upon 2, which is 20. Next, 24 plus 32 upon 2. That's 56 upon 2. That's 28. That means to make a continuous class interval, the upper limit is 20. This goes from 20 to 28. Listen to me cautiously. One of the values we have got as 20 and the second as 28. That means 24 is the midpoint, obviously between 20 to 28. It's a gap of 8. This should have been 12 to 20, whose midpoint, center value is 16. This will be from 28 to a gap of 8, 34. Right? Or 36, I guess. Yeah, 36. This will be from 36 to 44. 52 to 60 and finally 60 to 68. These are my continuous class intervals whose midpoints are written in blue color. You only need to solve the first two. The remaining can be written as similarly. So I have obtained my class interval which is continuous. The frequency given to me is 8, 12, 15, 18. 25, 19 and 10. Maximum it's going till 25, same monotony. Or you can this time take 2 centimeter as 2 units. Still you will get a nice answer. So first thing, on a plot, x-axis where you have continuous class interval, we have a kink because the start is from a 12. Half a box kink, half a box leave it. This goes from 12, 20, 28, 36, 44, 52, 60 and 68. On the y-axis, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Okay, if you write the scale, on the x-axis, we get 2 centimeter is equals to 4 units, and on the y-axis 2 centimeter equal to 2 units. The first plot is 8, second is 12. So from 12 to 20 it is 8, the next one is 12, the next one is 15, 15 is between 14 and 16. Then 18 and 25, 18 is a direct one. 25 is between 24 and 26. 19 and 10, 19 is between 18 and 20. 10 is a direct one. 18 is should be slightly up. Yeah, 18. And we have 15 and we have 12. That's it, just shade it. Alright. So we have frequency out here and we have class interval out here. That's my sum number 4th. In the first question, everything was proper. Start was origin and the class was continuous. Second question, the start was not origin, so we had to draw a kink. Class was continuous. Third question, neither start was the origin nor the class was continuous. We had to do the 2 changes. Fourth question, class is discontinuous, not continuous. And also they have not given me the class interval. They have given me the class marks. Class marks are called the midpoints, the mid values of my class interval. So with the help of center points, we found out the range, the class interval, right? So this was the 4th question for you all, the end of histogram. My next question is about ogive. Now when I'm talking about ogive, first, I'm talking about a graph which is an increasing graph. We call it as a less than cumulative frequency. Less than cumulative frequency. And I have to first find out the cumulative frequency. Accumulate, add. So 3 things are there to be focused on ogive. Ogive is always an increasing curve, you can say. Always an increasing curve. Second, we have 2 types of questions. Less than type, more than type. In our syllabus of 10th standard, we are restricted to the less than type of cumulative frequency drawing ogive. I'll explain what is that. Just remember the 2 words, less than type. And we need to first find out the cumulative frequency. How to do it? We will encounter this in the question number 5. Alright, in the 5th question, we need to draw a cumulative frequency curve, ogive, for the following distributions. Fine. So, 5th one, obviously we'll need to make a tabular form. Then the cumulative frequency curve, which is called an ogive. So, another name for ogive is CF, cumulative frequency curve. Alright. It's given to me as class interval which has to be continuous. 10 to 15 and goes on. in a set of 5. I guess it's going on till 40. Yeah, 40. The frequency given to me is 10, 15, 17, 12, 10, 8. Let's find the cumulative frequency. Cumulate means accumulate, add on, right? Combine, gather. That's the word in English. Trace down the first as it is. Go crisscross and add. So this will be 10 plus 15. Next, 25 plus 17. Next, 42 plus 12. Next, 54 plus 10. Next, 64 plus 8. So that's how I get my cumulative frequency. We need to draw a curve, an ogive for this. So on the x-axis, we have class interval. On the y-axis, this time, guys, for the ogive, do not draw frequency, only draw cumulative frequency. Remember? Fine. Now, cumulative frequency, the maximum is going up till 72. So you can take a gap of 10. 2 centimeter as 10 units on the y-axis. So you have 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 and 0. It's not starting from 0, it's starting from 10. So half, one of the small box is a kink, one small box you leave. This is your lower limit starting from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So the scale on the x-axis, 2 centimeter is equal to 10 units. I beg your pardon, 5 units. And on the y-axis, 2 centimeter is equal to 10 units. Again, it's not starting from 0, so kink. Now a piece of advice. Students, screw it up out here. The first plot is 10. Where to plot this 10? It always has to be plotted with the upper limit of the class. Remember, the plot should be done with the upper limit, not the lower limit. So at 15, you will be marking 10 as a point. At 15, the marking should be 10. Second, at 20, the marking should be 25. Between 30 and 20. At 25, the marking is 42. Second dash above 40. At 30, the marking is 54. Between 50 and 60, we have the fourth division as 54. 35, it is 64. Between 60 and 70, the fourth division. And last 72 at 40. Between 70 and 80, the second division. Now, you join it like a freehand diagram, joining two points at the time. Right? Now, this is called an ogive. Ogive cannot be in the air. So, what you do is, always with the lower limit, this is called the lower limit, starts from 0. So 10 is the lower limit, it starts from 0. This is my ogive. You need to mention the points. 15, 10, then 20, 25, 30, right, 25, 42, 30, 54, 35, 64, and last point 40, 72, and this is going to be 10, 0. This is your ogive. This is the way you draw. What are the two things we need to possibly remember? First, it is always an increasing curve, for a less than type of a cumulative frequency. Second, always remember that the plot should be done from the upper limit, not the lower limit. Lower limit always starts from 0 of the first class interval. And always write down the coordinates besides the points which you have drawn on the graph. Connect 2 points at a time with a freehand diagram, trying to make a straight line as straight as possible. That will give you a proper answer. And the plotting is not frequency, the plotting is cumulative frequency. Go with this sum. This is your question number 5.